Hello there, and thank you so much for joining us today right here on Transforming Families. My name is Faith Kaulu, and I'm really excited about today's episode because today we are putting masculinity into a very vulnerable position and want to discuss about why do men really feel the need to prove their sexual prowess. And I'm really excited generally because I'm also joined by very young men who are willing to talk and be honest about this, no matter how much it damages their ego, because, you know, men and protecting their ego is a very serious thing. And so I'm really honored to have you guys on board. Thank you all for coming, despite this very sensitive topic today. I'd like to give you a chance to introduce yourselves. So we'll start with you, Simon.
I'm very grateful to God for this chance. My name is Simon Masai, a practicing Christian, and I'm a computer scientist by profession, but I practice entrepreneurship. And other things about me, I am a Christian blogger, and I am a mentor with Emerging Leaders Foundation, and also working with Focus Kenya as an associate doing students ministry.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yes, Mr. Happy Dawn.
Yes, very glad to be here. My name is Happy Dawn Mala. I am also a practicing Christian. Yes, I am professionally I'm an IT expert. I'm a developer, but I'm an entrepreneur too. I'm a leader, a youth leader with the Voice Movement, and I'm a director of Save Africa organization. Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. Simon, you mentioned that you are a Christian blogger. Maybe just to ask, have you ever written anything about masculinity and all that?
So far, to be sincere, I have not done it directly, but I've been beating around the bush. But now that seeing it's a need, I'm looking forward to do one.
All right, okay. Let's get direct into it and talk about the number of men who are using the blue pills, Viagra, you know, that depends if you went to Mwihoko or group of schools. But let's refer to it as the blue pill. I think that's okay. Is increasing by day, and I'd say, unfortunately, even younger men are now going over the counter to get these drugs. I don't know. I mean, because let's not talk about it in a negative light, because it is a medicine that can be prescribed to treat by a professional doctor. But you see that over-the-counter use of the blue pill is increasing by men. So a question would arise: why should a young man who is very physically okay and doesn't have any challenges feel the need to use the blue pill? I don't know who would start with. Maybe let's start with you, Simon.
Okay, I'll go first. Number one is, as you have said rightly, that it's an over-the-counter drug. And another thing is it's meant for a specific purpose. And so like you need to go there like with a doctor's prescription. But I will use the word we young people, we are misusing it because of we have gotten lost to understand who we are, and so we need to find it from something else. And in a society that we are living in, for you to be a man, the maleness is defined by the longer time you take in bed. And so like if somebody has an issue with that, I need to get a backup. And so we end up ignorantly finding ourselves into those chemists buying the blue.
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Don, is it for pleasure or is it cause of pressure?
I would say the abuse for the blue pill is increasing because of, I think, two things. One, our society, especially as we are right now, we have not understood what sexuality is and what sex should be. And if we have, our information is we are being informed by the wrong sources. So when you put those together, we come to a point where a man has the need to prove himself because of where the information of what sex should be. And also, as you said rightly, it's a prescription drug, but because of how we are set up, I can get the drug without having a prescription. So it all boils down also to the society itself. having medics or people in the medical field who are willing and able to give young people drugs that are, and we're not just necessarily the blue pill, drugs in general that are not prescribed because either of their financial abilities to pay them or whatever. So it boils down to our society. Our society has been unable to control the use of the pill, although it is supposed to be a prescription medicine, but the control of the use isn't as good as it should be. Yes.
All right, Simon, what do you have to say about that?
In addition to what he has just said,
Yeah.
and I agree with him with the failure on those who administer the drugs, because like if a young person just comes to your chemist, the drug shop, and somebody just asks it, because it's not any other thing that somebody can just ask and you give, because of and they are informed of the effects. And so they should be very keen and careful to know, like, why do you need it? Where are you going to use it? Like, because such pills, you will not even say it's my father who has sent me. Yeah. Even that will show even irresponsibility from the parents, because it's very sensitive. And so I think that it's failure also to them who administer the drug, who gives the drugs easily, because they need to understand if a young person just enters into a shop and is like, I need this pill. And you know, like maybe you need to follow it up with questions like, are you sick? Have you been having problems? Are you married? Even because maybe the society believes that this practice should be done in marriage. So you think they should ask questions before administering it. And then, as you have said it rightly, it's on the rise. Then there's a failure somewhere, not only from the people who are consuming it, but those who are giving to the consumers.
Yeah. So why do men really feel the pressure to perform well in bed? Because I believe that the reason why younger men who have no issues at all with erectile dysfunction are going a step ahead to get this pill to prove, you know, that I can last longer or I can do it better than whoever you had before. So why this need to actually prove that you're a man in this particular way?
First, I believe we should answer the question, what is underperforming? What informs our judgment? What makes you say this guy is not performing, or this guy is, or what makes you feel as a man, what I am doing as at now isn't what I should be doing, isn't as good as I should be. And as I had said earlier, it all comes down to where are we getting our information from? We are living in an age of in an internet age where information is easily available. Videos, audios, all these things are easily available. So as a young man, before I engage in anything, I will go and research about it and see, okay, how is this done? And how am I supposed to do this? And where do I go? I go to the internet and I look at videos. I start watching pornography and all these things. Now, once I have gotten into that space, all my information moving forward is informed by this information I'm getting from the internet. Now, once I have known this is who I am supposed to be, or this is what a man is supposed to look like or supposed to perform like, I will strive, I will make it a point, I will make it an effort, I will make an effort to be that kind of person. So we are idolizing people who are not supposed to be idolized, especially in the industry of adult films. So we idolize them and make them the epitome of what a man should be. And doing that, now we come back, and when I meet a lady, I want to prove to her that since I know what a man should be, I want to be that kind of person. So it ends up skewing our judgment and skewing our thoughts on on what sex should be and where it should happen and how it should happen.
Right. So generally the media is playing a huge role in corroding our views of, you know, manhood and in relation to his sexuality.
Exactly. And you can see that even on advertisements that happen. When you go online these days, advertisements on the blue pill, and you look at what they are saying, they start with, are you a real man? Can you do this and this? So our media has come to a point where they have decided what a man should look like or how a man should perform. and now they are trying to impress it upon you so that you can be that kind of person.
Yeah. I mean, someone tell us what kind of situation does that put you as a man, you know, just generally speaking for every man out there?
What I'll say towards that is we have every culture tries to define true masculinity, and when there is failure towards that, we are having, me as a young person, I will grumble to know how can I be a real man. Like there's this question in our hearts, like, am I really a real man? Am I a man enough? And then it's like, what am I lacking to be a man enough? To be man enough? And so, and then what is being offered around us here said, and then it's like, it pressures me to go and look for things that not necessarily makes me to be a man, because it has not been put out well. It's a notion. And so you'll find, like, after that, you'll find, like, if I need to last long in bed for me to be one, then, and then we know men, with that ego that we have, we don't want to crush it. If anything, then we are building it. Like, even if I feel like I am man enough, but I need to go even beyond. And so I need to go and get something that will boost my manhood. And so you'll end up finding yourself buying into these bills.
Yeah. And okay, this is what a real man should be like. That is what they're selling to us and to the society at large. But you as a man, when you use that pill to feel that, yes, I am a man enough, yes, I am going beyond, why then keep it as a secret? Because a lot of guys don't tell their partners that, you know, I am using the pill for this and this. So why, you know, hide it?
Okay, I would start with it all. Where did we begin? So once we have met a lady, and I have not been forthright about who I am and what I'm struggling with, I will find a way to make her think I'm something else. All right. So that includes taking the blue pill and making her believe that naturally I can last that long. So in the long run, you find it difficult to go back and start telling them, now I have been lasting this long because of this and this and this. And two, we have very huge egos, and our egos play a very huge role in the decisions we make in life. So as a man, it becomes very difficult to tell the person who should see you as a man, the first person in your life who should put you in that pedestal and see you as the ultimate man. It becomes very difficult to now tell them that I am not actually a real man. I have been supplementing my manhood with something else. And three, it is because we know that at that point, I tell you that I have been using the blue pill, I will be asked to stop. And the blue pill becomes an addiction. It becomes an addiction like any other drug. So I would not want to put myself in a position to be asked to stop. So I would rather hide it and make it look like that is who I am.
And build on your manhood. I mean, it is a sad situation, because even in today's society, when someone passes on because of complications brought by taking the pill, and it's all over the media, it's always in very harsh tones. People don't really say exactly what happened. You just hear, hey, it might be the pill. But outright, I mean, no one comes out to condemn it or to educate people about it. And so really, I mean, which brings the question, why protect your manhood at the cost of other things like your health? Because there are side effects that come with using the pill, especially from a younger age, without it being prescribed to you. So is it really that bad, Simon, that men are willing to protect their manhood without even caring about other health issues that they're endangering?
Like when we define the ego of man, like, we don't mention our flaws. We just mention those things that appears good to everyone. There's somewhere I read that the person who anonymous, I will not mention the person, he was saying we men define ourselves with who we are, who we know, and what we own. Who we are, who we know, and what we own. Like what we own, I cannot tell people I own a disability. I need to hide it the farthest, like no one can come closer to it. And so you find, and another thing, because you want to build your ego, you even forget to go and read the side effect of what you are getting yourself into.
Yeah.
And so you are going into it with only one objective, to prove I am a man. But you have no clue of the side effects which are there to your life as a person, which like it will make you, like it will just make you to be something that you have never imagined, and you're getting yourself into it. And if you look at those people who have been who have suffered the side effect, they will tell you, I had no clue if this is what I was signing into. So it means we are so much into building ego and we forget our health, as you say.
Yeah.
Just to add on that,
Sure.
men are known to live dangerously, naturally from birth. We are known to be daring, to push boundaries,
Brave.
to try new things. Generally, that's who we are.
Yeah.
So when I find something that will improve who I am, I will overlook the side effects, like one of the side. I'll look at it like something like the dangerous living, just something on the side, you know.
Okay.
If I'm told not to, if you look at it this way, you know, men are known to hike, to do bike riding, to do bungee jump, some crazy stuff. So we look at it as some of the dangers that come with it, not as a serious side effect that arises from taking the pill. So we will see the side effects, but we will be like, it's just a small
Because it
danger.
gives you the adrenaline
Yes,
that
it's just
you...
a small danger that comes with being a man, you know. So we don't really take such things seriously. That's why you can find a man who is really sick but might not even go to hospital because they feel like, you know, it's just, I can handle this.
Mwanaume ni kujikaza.
Loyalty to manhood.
Loyalty to manhood. I will handle this. I'll find a way of, and that is also the reason why we won't say it to our partners, because we feel like it is just it's just part of being a man. It's like who we are. I don't have to tell you that I am going through this and this. I can find a way of fixing it, and let's move forward.
Yeah. But what is wrong with just, let me put it like living a normal life, you know, doing things as they are, other than, you know, when you're talking about it sexually, you don't have to last for 2 hours. So why go beyond the means for you to last 2 hours? Yet naturally you can last 7 minutes, and that's okay. I mean,
Normal is relative, you know. For everyone, normal is relative. If you look at our country, Kenya, for example, we have different myths on different people from different ethnic communities who have different sexual prowesses. We can tell people from this community are like this, people from this community. Now, so it is said, yeah. So it is myths. That's why I say they are myths. So once I know that there are some people out there who can do better than me, as a man, I will try to be as good as them, you know? And that is the competitive nature of men. So I will, because I know there are some men out here who last for 2 hours, why shouldn't I last for 2 hours then? Why am I less of a man? Why am I the one lasting 7 minutes? So I will do everything it takes to compete with probably there are no men who last 2 hours, but it's just something we hear, and I will do everything it takes to compete with them. According to me, I think that's it.
The confidence somebody has in doing the wrong thing explains the level of ignorance. If you are confident doing the wrong thing, then you are ignorant.
yeah.
And I think the confidence we see around from young people going out, like they want to be extra, and they want to like, it's like an award-winning race, when the consequences cannot even be, like you cannot even, they are so there. And so the thing here, the lack of information, okay, the confidence people are having in doing this tells us that manhood, there is a need for manhood to be redefined. So that people, when we boil it down to sexuality, I need to be comfortable with whom I am as man, because this is not the only thing, this is the only thing in this container called man, there are several things that I can concentrate on rather than just following which is not even them. So there is a need for manhood to be redefined and to have it straight so that people should not do what is not supposed to be done.
And if I can just add something small.
Sure.
Looking at our society, women are progressing faster than men. And because of this, the only thing men are left with to prove that they are actually men, it goes back to sex. So if I have a wife who is earning more than me, who is probably, you know, doing much better than me, if we are talking about finances, we are talking about social life, everything else, she's a little bit better than me. What field, where am I, where will I go that I will have to prove to her that I'm actually the man here? And now we go back to sex. So as a man, I will try as much as possible to bring it down so that this woman will respect me or will revere me to some extent because of my prowess in bed, not because of what I'm bringing to the table. Because when you look at society, women, the progress women are making right now is just, it's so fast that men are feeling emasculated. Men, you could hear from Magoha's speech the other day after the KCSE results. He said now we need to concentrate on all the genders. We have concentrated so much on the girl child that they are going ahead of the men. So that men at the end, they feel like, okay, what part of life? Work, we are being beaten. We are being beaten at work. We are being beaten at social life. We are being beaten at careers. Where is it that I can come and prove to this lady that I am actually good at what I'm saying? I'm a real man.
I really agree with what you're all saying, that we need to, you know, change the conversation around manhood, because there is more to being a man other than just what you're offering sexually. And with that said, let's take a very short break. Do not go too far, because this is a conversation you do not want to miss.
Next Monday on Rays of Hope.
Children and young people are dying inside. They're sinking. They have hollows.
How much time do you give to that child?
The quality.
The quality time. Yes. For how long have you been with the child? Over that week? Or do you know what has been happening with the child? Do you listen? But today our children are very much exposed. Out there, we are not there most of the time. So they might, what they are lacking, what they feel they are empty, they might go looking out there.
Tune in to CAC TV next Monday at 8 p.m. on Rays of Hope.
We welcome your feedback on our programming. For questions or comments, kindly get in touch with us on email info@cactv.org, SMS us on 22167 or call us on 0794 588 054.
Dear esteemed CAC TV viewers, we are humbled by your continued unwavering support. This Sunday, the 16th of May, CAC TV, in partnership with the station and the fraternity of PCA Langata Parish, invites you to a live service from 9 a.m. led by Reverend Jason Mwirisha. The hybrid children service will be hosted by Reverend Peter Karaoke, the director, Children Ministry. In the afternoon, we will serve you an exciting Youth Etuko Mashinan program from PCA Limuru Parish, hosted by the Director Youth, Reverend Anton Miringo, from 2 to 3 p.m. The service will be a reflection on Psalm 119:105. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Tune in to CAC TV on Signet, CAC TV Kenya on Facebook, and YouTube to fellowship with us.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for keeping it right here. Today we are talking about vulnerability and manhood. And from the conversation arising today, I believe we can all agree that it's about time we educate not only the men but also women on the whole concept of what's the word, sex and performance. You know, there's someone who mentioned that what is underperforming when it comes to sex, because really no one knows actually. It's all what we hear, what we have been fed from when we are young, which really needs to change, and I'm glad we're having this conversation today. Let's look, rather, let's talk about how can the women in the society support men, even as we're trying to change the whole concept, because I believe a man wanting to prove that he's a man, he's doing it so that he can prove to a lady. And it takes two, actually, to build this whole world that we have created for ourselves that is really causing more harm than good. So let's talk about how, I mean, you as guys, what do you think the role of women is to ensuring that the conversation around manhood has been changed for the better of us all?
This is my view on that. And I will start it from traditional way, how in the traditional way of life, like back then, we had defined role of a man and defined role of a woman. And with advancement and changing in time, we have seen that men, they have lost direction, because what used to be theirs is no longer theirs. Like when you're talking about, and I just want to concur with what my brother said, when it comes to providing, like you're having, they're getting, like a lady is getting more than you can get. When you're talking about as a protector, like, yo, I can go and get a gun, can hire people around me, like you, not necessarily you. And so like men are confused, and they don't know where now their role, what is their role. And that's why, like, again, one thing that I want to concur with my brother, there is, women has been empowered. And so there is that man feels like I have no place, I have no space. And so I need to struggle to find myself, which should not be a struggle for my perspective. One thing to answer your question should be, like, this part of agreeing, like women helping the men to know that they can just become who they want to be with nothing extra. What do I mean? And that tells you that there should be a conversation, a mutual conversation. Sure. And so that nobody expects much from the other, which makes somebody to slide into something that is not advisable. And so the conversation should be around ladies, like, for example, those who are relating or those who are in marriage, just to, like bring it out, make sure that you make your man vulnerable. Like there's a way you can, there's an environment you can create, a conducive environment to make your man be vulnerable in terms of directing him to say things that he might be struggling with, that he's not bringing it out, so that you can chip in to help. When we are, now that we are talking about sex, like you can notice how he's doing, like, okay, it's a participation of two people. Like you can even see how the person struggles, maybe, like even you can use directing question to ask, like, are you doing it normally, or there's something like you're struggling? And then you help the person to appreciate that, by the way, just do it normally, like just trying to make somebody appreciate the way he is without doing something extra. And even being vulnerable to a point of, should you have started using it, let it just count it past. And now, like, and then I believe the lady can be more informed to help the person, the man, gain his conscience in terms of that thing is of more consequence than benefit. Like you help the man to run what we call risk-benefit analysis. And so the results that comes from a risk-benefit analysis should inform the person to know, like, oh, kumbe she cares. And then it helps the person to know she's also in my struggles, and so we need just to sort it together, because it's not a me only thing to monitor. And then it can also help the man to block his ears to what goes outside, like the information he talks about that is feeding our mind and making us do funny stuff. Like it can bring him to the present situation and use the best way out than destroying his life through the pills.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. Very well put.
I think one thing I'll just add, because he has almost exhausted it, is the killer of a man is comparison. So, you know, the thing with women is women rarely forget, especially when it comes to sexual experiences. Men can forget their sexual experiences, but women rarely forget. And once they find a man and now get into an experience with them and start comparing their experiences before with this, it becomes a killer to the man's ego, and it makes the man want to try and be better. And better in that sense is not really better, it's actually worse. So for women, I think the best thing we would do for ourselves and do for men is avoid comparison in all aspects, be it financially, be it everywhere. Just avoid comparison so that the man doesn't feel emasculated and the man can still have his rightful place. And the second thing is, just because you have done better than me in some areas in life doesn't take away from the fact that I'm still the man in the house, you know. So if I feel emasculated as a man and I feel like, you know, the only thing I'm offering now, the only thing as a man I can offer is not finances, is not, as we had said, is not all these things else. The only thing I can offer now is my prowess and my ability to satisfy you, which might not even be true, that I'm satisfying you, just my ability to last longer and do all these things. If this is the only thing I feel can now make you look at me as a man, I will do everything it takes. So the need for women to be content with what they have and to avoid comparison is very huge for relationships. Yes.
Let's talk now to men out there. I know you guys are young compared to, I mean, people who, according to research, have problems with maybe, let's say, erectile dysfunction and are prescribed to use the drug. But I'd like us to talk to both categories of men. Younger men who are using the pill just to show, you know, I'm a man enough and to prove their prowess when it comes to matter sexuality. And older men who are having difficulties, either they're scared to go to the hospital or they've gone to the hospital but they're scared to tell their partners. Just in general matters, manhood and sexuality to men. I think we'll start with you, Simon.
I will start by, my opinion first goes to the older, those who have the erectile dysfunction. Yeah. And number one, we have appreciated that these pills should be prescribed by a doctor. And so should we, like, it's a need, yes. And that's why, okay, I know Kenya, maybe our living standard may not allow us to have a personal doctor, go regularly for checkups. We may not be able to do that, but it's an effort. We should put an effort there so that it comes from somebody who is somebody from a professional point of view, rather from my ignorance point of view, just want to do it. Yeah. Like we should, those people who have this problem, this dysfunction, they should make sure that before they have it, they have gotten a go-ahead from them who are professional. Yeah. And to the other side, I will also say another thing before I go to the other side is they should also, what I said, they should also run a risk-benefit check before like the need. Like if it's an older man and you are on your age and you want to do it for pleasure, okay, for procreation. Yeah. Okay, kuna pleasure na procreation. Mm-hmm. Like if you have children, your life is, and like you have your wife and your wife understands you the way you are, but the problem comes when you want to go outside there and now you need to prove people you are going, like you are cheating outside there, so you want to use it for the sake of pleasure. Mm-hmm. I think that should be stopped because it's not good. And so they should not do it for the sake of, oh, if you are old and you already have your family put up together, you are on your pension and everything, like don't just go outside there and start doing the pills because it will do you more harm than good. To the younger generation, I also say, like, why, before you click that button of going to buy that thing, you need to ask yourself questions. Like if the pressure has come from your friend, for us young people, there is a need for us always checking out from the group and sobering up for us to make decisions. We should not make decisions in the group. Like we need to come out of the group, we have a grip of ourselves, and then ask ourselves questions. We go for advisory if need be. We go for information if need be, now that we are living in a generation where getting information is just a click. And then it's like, now I'm doing it out of soberness. Because if we do that, most of us will not even dare go to buy these pills, because the consequences are very bad than the good that are out of it. Because if we just, I'm doing it to prove it, like that act of proving, it's not of benefit compared to your health. Like, why should you put your health at stake for the sake of something that it will not even be written anywhere? You'll not be remembered that this is the man who stayed the longest in bed, and you get an Oscar award for that. You won't. Yeah, so we just stop it.
Yeah, for me, I would let me start with advice for like the older people who are using it for erectile dysfunction. Our lifestyles play a very big role in our sexual abilities and activities. So most of us growing up, especially us from the cities, most of us growing up haven't grown up with a healthy lifestyle. We grow up with lifestyles that lead us to a point where our bodies don't perform the functions they should as they should. So I believe that our lifestyles, we should align our lifestyles to match who we want to be. So if I want to have endurance, and my whole day I have not done anything to build up my endurance, and I will only want to build it up once I go to bed, it means that I will have to get a shortcut to get the endurance. So let's build our lifestyle towards this. Let's build all our lifestyles towards who we want to be as men. And also to just to make it clear that erectile dysfunction also happens with younger men of my age and even younger, because erectile dysfunction stems from a lot of things, maybe biological, but also psychological. People can get this dysfunction because they are depressed, because they have anxiety, and because of many things. Now, depression is one huge cause of erectile dysfunction. Now, if we do not find a way to release out the pent-up stress we have, especially as men of all ages, men tend to bottle up everything, and it manifests in things like the dysfunctions. So if we do not find a way to release all the pent-up stress and things that are building up in our bodies, we will find that we'll take the blue pill, we'll go for prescriptions and all these things, but at the end of it all, it will not address the actual issue, which is depression. And for younger men, I would say is let us choose what informs who we are. It is a choice we make every day when you wake up. It is a choice you make. What is going to inform who I am talking to, who I am, what is going to inform the decisions I make. So if you find that your decisions are informed by the media, are informed by what you watch, are informed by who you talk to, just change who you talk to. Give yourself a challenge of changing who you talk to and what you watch and what you see, even for 21 days. As they say, it takes 21 days to build a habit. If you just give yourself 21 days and change what informs your decisions, you will see a very huge change, and you will not see any need for going down that road. Yes.
Well, I'm glad we are on the right side of media, where we're trying to change this whole conversation and trying to educate men by telling them rather that you are enough. You know, the way you are enough. And if you have any challenges or, you know, any setbacks, then we can sort it out as we go on. You don't have to prove, you know, your masculinity by endangering other aspects of your health. So I'm really glad that you guys were able to come on board and open up and talk about manhood, about you being vulnerable as a man when it comes to, how about what if when the girl says, you know, you underperformed, then what? So I'm really glad that men out there who are watching this will know that, you know, that's okay, and we'll sort it out in a way that is beneficial to us, or like changing of lifestyle, as you said, and so many other things. So thank you for being here. Now, buying Viagra from an unreliable source or for recreational use is very risky and dangerous. And even when we talk about it as a prescribed drug, that's also dangerous as well. Research has shown that issues such as erectile dysfunction or pre-ejaculation can be solved Some of the ways include lifestyle changes, checking on what you eat and ensure that you're having healthy and a balanced diet. Working out and performing exercises, including pelvic floor exercises, will help you improve your sexual abilities. Attending counseling or going for couples therapy can also help you deal with such a factor, especially if it is psychological, and many other ways, including herbal and alternative remedies. However, this has been open to a lot of questioning and debate. I think one thing that we can agree for sure is that men use the blue pill for sexual pleasure, not only for them but also for their partners. But we've also seen that these issues that push them to use this pill are not necessarily health issues, could be mental issues, and that is why men are also encouraged to seek counseling services rather. So I earlier on spoke to Professor Catherine Gashuda, who spoke about this largely, and say that yes, your sexual performance could be linked to your mental health.
There has been an upsurge in the use of Viagra, and especially among the older population. The more one continues to grow older, the more one loses the potency of having an erection. And therefore, when men are using Viagra, it's to give them the ability to be able to erect and therefore have sex. Because when one is having erectile difficulties, then that means the penis is flaccid. And that would then mean that one is not going to be able to have sex and to satisfy a woman, and even for them to be satisfied. It becomes a very stressful situation for both the women or the woman and this man. And therefore this becomes a solution. But then the way the solution is implemented, where people go to buy off-the-counter Viagra medication so that they can perform or they can become erect and perform better, is something that needs to be discouraged. As counseling psychologists or even psychologists, we believe in behavioral therapies. Yes, there are times when we make referrals to doctors so that we can also be able to get an assessment of what is happening to them from a physiological and physical level. But for most of the people who continually lose the potency, they may be going through psychological and emotional difficulties that can be handled by resolving the issues that they are going through. Take, for example, someone who has been retrenched, and because of that, they are losing their potency or that ability to elect. That means that that is an emotional psychological difficulty that requires psychological measures and interventions for it to be resolved. At the same time, we receive couples in therapy and we take them through behavioral interventions that help them to know what they need to do so that they can be able to recultivate again the abilities that have been lost over time. And for a percentage of couples, they are able to do better without using the medical intervention for them to be able to have sex that is satisfactory for them. I think the first thing that needs to happen is that the partner needs to understand, to be empathic, to understand how did it start, what would have caused it, was it before, or is it something that is starting within marriage, or when they are having their relationship, is it something that is starting during that period of time, and what may be the external and the internal factors within the person, within the spouse, that may be causing the erectile dysfunction. It is from there that they now can advance ways in which they can be able to counter this. If this is beyond them, then it is important for them to contact a professional who can help them to be able to understand the situation in a much better way, a more scientific way, so that the interventions that are going to be decided upon are going to be interventions that are going to give the best of results.
Wearing the cape of an elder, Reverend Edward Karanja speaks about this issue largely, especially about the use of Viagra amongst older men. Let's listen in.
Blue pill has really become a problem in our society, and especially because the older men, people my age, people a little bit older than me, people that go to all the wazes chamas and take their moratina, take their traditional buzar, and take the other alcohol around there. Most of the people who are into it are those ones. And I don't know why they're doing it, but we want to explore into that today, because we have had many men, including big names, politicians, big businessmen, who have died in very queer circumstances. Because you are found in nyumba ya mpango wa kando, kwa mama kadogo, sijui ulikuwa umeenda kufanya nini kwa mama kadogo. Few cases are men who die in the houses of their wives, but mainly it is in the houses of ndogo ndogo, the mpango wa kando that they keep around. So be looking into that. The blue pill simply here means, using those pills that are able to boost your manhood. You want to be able to perform better sexually, so to boost your libido, you find yourself engaging in those pills, the Viagras and the rest. Because tradition or research has shown it today that more men have a challenge of realizing an erection more than it was in the days past. And this is caused by the food, the lifestyle we are living today, the kind of the food we are eating. People are eating processed food. People are eating chips, sausages. Those are the things people are eating. People are eating meat that is not properly roasted. And, unlike Kitambo, where people would eat real good meat, people are not doing fruits. The nuts that we used to eat, the fruits in the wild and the nuts we used to eat, people are eating processed food. And this processed food has a challenge with the men being able to realize an erection. I do not know very much about women, and I wish a woman would be able to speak, and a professor would mention that a little bit, because women are more gifted a little bit more than men. Why? A woman can fake an erection. A woman can fake excitement. But for a man, hakuna cha kufake. Msee kaa umelala umelala, kaa umeamka umeamka. It can only be two way. Utajulikana life, there kwamba mambo hapa iko noma. So the men, to be able to prove themselves that they are men, they will want to do a blue pill so that they can be able to raise to the occasion. And especially when you are going out with another woman that is not your wife, you want to prove your prowess. And sex, it boosts the male ego. It makes a man feel a man. I was able to sustain that woman throughout the night. Si America, Joe, till morning, eh? There is a way it makes you feel like you are a man. So the only way to be able to sustain that is you use something to boost your libido so that you can be able to survive that. But I always tell men, if you really want to sustain that libido, forget about the blue pill. Eat right. Go get a cassava. Eat cassava as much as you eat. Eat yams. Get kwa muhogo. Eat yams. Eat ndoma, and sometimes not every ndoma, especially those that live in the city. Some ndoma in the city, you never know where they grow. Eat ngwashe, eat nuts. Don't just eat the processed food. Don't have those big bellies, men. I'm sorry for you that are gifted with big pot. Because they say when your body is sagging all over, unakuta shingo ni kubwa, tumbo ni kubwa, as you sag, it is not just the stomach sagging. They say even that organ is also sagging. And it cannot be strong enough. You need to tone your muscles. Do some press-ups. Those press-ups, when your muscles are strong, then atananino becomes strong. I would want to speak to the ladies. Please go slow on your man. If this man has other pressures, because one could be physically very strong, could be eating very well, but maybe one could be having pressure ya kazi. Mtu akona loan, mtu amekimbizwa kazini kwa biashara hafanyi vizuri, they are not be able to meet their target. So when their mind is not relaxed properly, or they are irritated in other areas, they cannot be able to function well sexually. So I would advise the ladies, do not push your man so much into these issues. The best way to do is like get him out of the cave. Discuss with the man, because men really like going to the cave. Discuss it with your man. Ask him, what is happening to you? Why are you not able to do these things? Is there something that I can help you with? Is there something you want to share with me? As a wife, open up, or a lady, even if you're not the wife, you are the other woman in this guy's life. If that's the person you are, please speak to your man. Get to know what is happening to them, especially if you are the other woman, because the other woman, the man will want to prove to you more that he's a man. But if you show understanding, caring, either wife or whoever you are to the man, then the man will be able to discuss with you and will be able to satisfy you without even using the blue pills. Unfortunately, the blue pill is not just by the men of my age and older. The younger people are even worse. Why? They grew up from the word go, eating badly. Today you find so many young people, even at the university, with some sagging stomachs. Very young. We used to know mtu ukiwa na kitambi ni mali. Mtu ukiwa na kitambi, you are older. Then we have very too young to boys around in their early 20s, mid-30s, mid-20s, early 30s that are really big, and they are having a challenge of those pills because they want to prove themselves they are men to their wives or their ladies. I would advise, instead of doing that, discuss with your lady what is happening. And then for the ladies, be kind, be gentle to the man. You know, maneno nyororo humtoa nyoka pangoni. So kama nyoka wako hawezi kuteleza pangoni, tafadhali jaribu kutoa maneno mazuri. Atainuka tu pole pole na atakusaidia, atakuwa msaada kwako na pia mwenyewe atafurahia.
I am glad that today on Transforming Families we have had this conversation. For a very long time, the boy child has felt neglected, but today we have talked about matters manhood and told the man, or rather we are telling the man, that you are enough and you are okay. If you have an issue, speak about it to your partner, seek medical advice, and let's sort out issues that we're dealing with in a healthier and better way. Thank you all for joining me this evening on Transforming Families. My name is Faith Kaulu. Till next time, keep watching CAC TV.